The intensity of this full moon and lunar eclipse cannot be overstated enough. Let's talk about how to best ride this wave and utilize the heightened energy for our growth and well-being. Hello my loves, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'm Leeor Alexandra. Welcome to the B community. On this channel, we talk about the law of attraction, spirituality, self-development, and so much more. You might hear puppy cries in the background because the second I leave the room in which Jupiter, my puppy, resides, he gets very angry about it. So the reason that I'm feeling such intense energy during this full moon time, right? Full moons are always kind of times of heightened energy. They're times of completion, times where things are coming to the light, things are being revealed. But this particular full moon has so much going on around it that's just making the energy even more potent and powerful. So we have a lot of Aries energy with us. A few planets are in Aries right now. We have Mercury that just went retrograde, which I'll briefly speak about. The full moon, of course, which is an already heightened energetic time. It's going to be in Scorpio, which is our literal underworld. That's the energy that reveals our depths, our shadows, the hidden aspects of ourselves. The darkness coming to the light, coming to the top with the full moon light, right? And that is all going to be further amplified by the lunar eclipse. So we're going to have a blood moon, and it's called a blood moon because the moon will temporarily look red. It'll appear red. So it's a blood flower full moon lunar eclipse. It's a lot. So I've always known eclipses to conceal and also to reveal, depending on what kind of energy they're bringing for us. And so I was trying to feel into what we would experience here, and I was talking about it on Twitter a little bit, and astrologer Marian Altman offered some of her insight, calling the lunar eclipse a giga full moon, which I totally agree with. She said that she sees this time as everything coming to the light, absolutely everything, even more than on a normal full moon, and I'm in total agreement with that. So that kind of it encapsulates that super concentrated, heightened, kind of chaotic energy. And now I want to get into what you may expect to experience so that we can ultimately use this energy for our benefit. All this Aries energy still brings to us some sort of optimism. So we're still going to feel motivated and ambitious and social. It's just, you know, along with all this other stuff that we have to kind of work with. Before we get into the rest of the video, I just want to ask you to please subscribe if you haven't already and turn your post notifications on. I have a goal to reach 20% subscribers who have their notifications turned on. You have to allow YouTube to send you notifications as well on your phone. Right now I'm around 15%. I'd love to get to 20%, and that would really help me. So if you would just press the bell button and then choose that you get notified for my videos, that way you never miss an energy reading or any of my other videos, which would be really cool. And it's really good to get these energy readings in a timely manner so that you're kind of integrating what's going to go on before it happens and you're ready for things rather than looking back. It's always nice to look at it, to watch the videos in hindsight as well, because you get all this new insight on why things had to happen the way they did, right? But it's nice to watch before. Also, please like this video so that YouTube recommends to you more energy readings, not just mine. It's going to recommend to you astrology and all this cool stuff and more of my videos as well. So while I was kind of feeling into this energy, really diving into it and seeing what's coming up for me and what's coming up in my life and what's coming up in the collective unconscious, I had an affirmation or a mantra. It came to me while I was feeling into this. So the affirmation or the mantra that I'd love to offer to you is, I am present, mindful, conscious, and aware in this moment. And that's going to be really important based on everything that's going on, and you'll see why. So let's start really quick with Mercury retrograde, because that of course has a big hand on what's going to happen for us this month. So Mercury went retrograde on May 10th. The shadow was like a week or so before that, and it will be retrograde until June 3rd, where it goes direct. And so in the couple of weeks leading up to May 10th, you may have experienced something returning from the past, okay? Peeking its head in to see where you are. And this is kind of going to set the tone for what the lesson or the experience or pattern that you're going to be working with is going to be during Mercury retrograde. So you may have noticed yourself maybe getting back into a certain old pattern, maybe one that you don't like, or maybe somebody coming back into your life, something that you're happy about, right? Or maybe you just flirted with the idea of this thing returning, or maybe you rejected the reemergence of this thing completely. Whatever it was for you, I want you to recognize that it's just something that wants to come to the light, that wants to make itself known, like it's still here. Something from the subconscious has found its way back in. It doesn't mean that it was gone. It means that it was always there. And I'm feeling that that's going to be a big theme for the time between the 12th and the 18th or so. But of course, this would have started early May, and it's going to continue into early June. So it's sort of like things are coming up from our underworld. And I know that there's a lot of negative connotation when I say the word underworld, but that's not what I mean. It's not something negative. It's just something that's been hidden, something that you've banished to the back of your mind. Maybe there was a lesson that you learned a while back and you're like, oh, I'm good. I've healed this. I've learned this lesson. I've changed. And it's come back up during this time. And you're like, well, what does that mean, right? So it's like, you don't just get to forget about me. You still have to deal with this thing. Maybe it's something from childhood, something coming back up. But each time you're going to get stronger from handling this, and you're going to see that you've changed since the last time you had to deal with it. And just a little reminder that when we do things that make us feel ashamed, let's say it's an old pattern returning, something that you've given up, something that you've let go of, and you see it coming back, no matter what it is, we tend to beat ourselves up for it. And I just want to remind you that you don't need to do that. You can just choose right now to say, I made a mistake, and I promise to myself, I'm going to do better next time. Next time I put up against this kind of thing, I will do better. And don't shame yourself for it, right? So if you'd like to share what you think is coming up for you, please do in the comments. I'll share that for me. It came in the form of both a person, a person that I didn't really have any closure with, right? We had actually stopped, our connection stopped a few years ago in Mercury retrograde as well, I remember. And also a habit came back, a pattern of thinking, something that I thought I had worked past and left behind. Honestly, for me, it was something that I really did think I had healed. And it's kind of a way that I abused myself mentally. I thought that I was done. It came back. Rather than beating myself up for doing this, I kind of acknowledged my inner child. I'm like, it's okay, babe. I know it's hard. I know we're doing something that we used to do when we were younger. You don't want to be doing this anymore. You're an adult now. I've got us. I'm going to take care of us. I'll make sure this doesn't happen again. We're going to be fine. And it's just that awareness and not being mean to yourself because this thing has come back, or maybe you've gone back to somebody, a toxic ex or something. Don't be mean to yourself. Just be better. Every day we're just going to be better than older versions of ourselves, right? More transcendent, healed versions of ourselves. So yeah, if you'd like to share what you think it is for you, what came up for you in early May that you think is kind of having a heavy hand in what your Mercury retrograde is going to be like, leave it in the comments below. Let's talk about that. And these things come back up for us, not to taunt us or to diminish all the work that we've done or where we've gotten to, but to show us like, hey, look, healing is, it's a work in progress. It's not linear, right? There's ups and downs, and there's always going to be remnants of things that you're just going to have to keep looking at and improving from, and that's okay too. Remember that these cosmic events, they give us opportunities, and this one is giving us this opportunity, like, how much more can you let go of, and how much more can you grow? How much can you forgive yourself and forgive others? Lots of forgiving yourself energy here. On like the more basic level, remember that during Mercury retrograde, which is between May 10th and June 3rd right now, be extra meticulous when signing contracts. Be intentional with your communication, how you speak, how you share things, and also be mindful that no matter how careful you are, the message might still be misinterpreted. You might still be misunderstood. So just be graceful with yourself and with others and understanding about that, because that tends to happen. And so the period of time right around the full moon, which I'm picking up on, that it's right between the 12th all the way up to the 18th or the 19th. This is a really potent portal for healing unintegrated emotions. So we have this positive feeling that's coming from the Aries energy. So we have, we feel social, we feel lots of ambition, we feel lots of drive, we have a desire and even energy to start something new. However, that's kind of balanced out by the Taurus energy, which kind of brings us back down to earth, makes us a little bit more grounded, stable, if not a little bit lazy. And then the Aries energy, of course, has the shadow aspect of maybe making us feel a little bit act out in arrogance or impulsivity. So you want to look at the positives of both of these energies and the negatives and make sure that you're utilizing the positive. So borrow from steady, grounded Taurus. Make sure you ground yourself and that you're not getting ahead of yourself. You're not being arrogant. You're being level-headed, but also borrow from the Aries energy and allow your ambition to push you forward to start a new project, start a new friendship, relationship, whatever it might be, right? You also want to make sure not to rush into anything right now or to make quick snap judgments, especially this full moon. Every full moon, I really encourage to just observe and analyze, but this one specifically, it's going to be very important. So the full flower moon is on May 15th at 9:15 p.m. Pacific. It's going to be on the 16th for some of you, of course. And the lunar eclipse, it's going to be at its maximum around that same time. Like I was saying, this is a blood moon because it's going to appear red. So that's going to be a very interesting thing to see. I'm pretty sure that what I saw is that you can see it most clearly on the east side of the United States, but I would look into that to see if you could see it. It could be an interesting experience. Manifesting wise, it's not always the best to manifest around eclipse energy because it's so heightened, chaotic, and this one especially is super intense. But when we have an eclipse, it's that the earth is between the sun and the moon, and it's casting a shadow. A lunar eclipse, it's casting a shadow on the moon, so the moon's light is hidden, right? So in this situation, we might kind of have feelings of tension, but also a little bit of gloominess. It might feel a little dark for a few days. I really encourage you, even if you're not doing manifestation rituals or anything like that, what I do encourage you to do is to keep the hope, keep the faith, okay? Stay the course. Do not falter. Do not fall back into, and if you do, just be nice to yourself about it. Don't beat yourself up about it. If you fall back into old patterns or if you think, oh, nothing's going to work out for me or anything like that, continuously bring yourself back to better feeling thoughts and better feeling emotions, because this time is so energetically powerful that your thoughts are amplified. So you are manifesting all the time, whether you want to or not, whether it's intentional or not. So you might as well use this chaotic kind of intense energy to propel your manifestations forward, even if you're not necessarily doing rituals, which might go wacky because it's so powerful, right? And just know that whatever comes up for you during this time, whatever it is, maybe it's a return to old habits that are destructive, or maybe it's a positive thing, somebody coming back to you from the past that you've been really missing, or old thought patterns, or a situation with another person, or your living situation, or how you treat yourself, whatever it may be. Remember that everything is coming up to be integrated, to be looked at, to be loved, to be acknowledged. What we resist persists. What we run from will chase us. So if we just head on, face these things, we're going to be just fine. Continue to repeat the mantra to yourself that you're present, mindful, conscious, and aware in this moment, and make decisions with full autonomy. That's why this affirmation came for me. When we're in these energetically charged times and things are feeling gloomy and down, and we're kind of like just feeling all over the place and maybe a lot of tension and frustration, the best thing to do is to continuously stay present. So whether that be making that decision to eat a whole box of pizza, make sure you're making it with full consciousness, full awareness, that you're not going into autopilot, letting somebody come over that shouldn't come over, or going out somewhere you shouldn't go just because you're in autopilot. Be very conscious and aware of your choices. And if you continuously bring yourself back to this mantra, you'll continuously make better, more mindful, present choices for yourself. So there is a theme of death. Always with Scorpio, there's a theme of death, and that's not literal death. So don't be worried. It's death of parts of ourselves that we're ready to move on from. So it's like a sloughing off of old dead skin, right? Don't hold on to that old dead layer. It's no longer needed. It's no longer yours. There's new skin under there. Let it go and walk out of this feeling lighter. You're going to be feeling so rewarded by the last week of the month. It's going to feel so much better. There's a lot of water energy during this time as well. I'm feeling that water will be used in some way to create and to build. And in that case, if you feel comfortable doing a water ritual, you could do 2-cup method, or you could do a water ritual in which you charge your water and then drink it while visualizing the things that you want, right? So you're kind of imbibing on this reality that you desire, this water that's been charged with your intention. Use water also to cleanse yourself. When you're in the shower, when you're in the bath, imagine that the water is cleaning your energetic fields and set the intention that it does that as well. But there's also a feeling of water being destructive. So if you're going to go near a body of water, just be extra cautious, be extra careful, and just overly cautious, okay? Just be safe, my loves. No need for anxiety here. It's just a feeling coming up. And it could mean absolutely nothing. So just being careful, being mindful, present, aware, right? The things that I recommend during this time are breath work to let go of that intense pressure. We're like these boiling, we're boiling over kind of breath work. Releases so much pressure out of you. In fact, if you haven't tried my breathe meditation yet, you absolutely have to. People are in love with it. And right now, it's the best time to do it. You're going to need some sort of energetic hygiene tool to use. So I'm going to link that in the description below for you. Really recommend it. It's one of my favorite things that I've ever created. That will help you right now. I also recommend tidying up your finances, kind of going over your stuff. Seeing what's going on there. If you haven't been checking your cards for a while, your accounts for a while, just tidying things up, cleaning out your car, your bedroom. Energetically remain humble. Keep bringing yourself back down to earth, okay? And if you feel called to do a shadow work ceremony, it's a really good time to integrate your inner demons, remembering that the things that you don't like about yourself are those things that need the most love. There's a big opportunity for emotional transformation if we just notice where we're being triggered during this time and go deeper into it. Let's see where this emotion is coming from. Where do I get triggered like this? When else in my life do I feel like this? What is this showing me? What is this saying to me? Remember that all emotions will be heightened. So it's going to be anger, jealousy, passion, or joy. Whatever emotion you're feeling is going to be heightened to the point in which we really won't be able to see super clearly. So just ride that and do your best to remain present, mindful, conscious in this present moment, right? I always like to take plenty of time and space before making big decisions. I don't like to make big decisions around times like this. So maybe taking a step away from that. After the weekend, every day we're going to get more clarity, more calmness. Things are going to feel much, much, much better, lighter, lovely. It's going to be good. We're going to be great, okay? And if you're super happy, that's going to be intensified this weekend. So that's great. A lot of positive things coming for people with a lot of Aries in their chart. I think it was a little bit difficult for Aries the past few months, especially the last month. And it's going to be a lot easier. You probably are already feeling that it's getting a little bit lighter. After the full moon, you'll feel it even more. So I just want to give you a few prompts to journal, to explore yourself. The first one is, what do I need to feel grounded and stable in my life? So what is it that you need in order to feel grounded, right? The second is, in what areas of my life can I simplify or minimalize? That's going to feel really good for you. The third one is, what emotions keep coming up for me? Review the last few weeks or so. And the last one is, what has come up for me from the past in the last few weeks? This will be a really good way to analyze and see what's the theme for your Mercury retrograde and for this time in your life. Remember that all of life is patterns. Humans are cyclical. When will I learn to speak these words that I use constantly? Cyclical beings. And that means that we're going to go in cycles until we exit those cycles, until we really exit them. And that's okay. You're not alone. We're all doing the same thing. This is ubiquitous across the board. Okay, my loves? Keep the faith. Stay the course. You so got this. Everything is happening for us. You are empowered. You are loved. You are protected. All is well. I love you. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Comment below what really stood out for you, what you think is coming back for you. I'd love to hear in the comments, and let's talk. Look who had to join us to say bye. He would literally not leave. So give a thumbs up for Juju. I love you so much. Until my next video, as always, keep your vibrations way, way, way up. Bye.